Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Acupuncture is My Life. Now, in this episode, I want to change things up a little bit, and I'd like to jump into discussing ways in which you're damaging your heart and you have no clue that you're damaging your heart. And these are just based on simple habits you may have or experience on a daily basis. And you're not even understanding that. You have to understand your heart is like going non-stop from the womb to the tomb. Remember that. And also keep in mind that heart disease, and I've spoken on this in past episodes, heart disease is the leading cause of death in both women and men globally. Like, let's just say, and I usually don't speak in domestic terms, but right now, I'll make this one statement based on studies relative to the United States. Many individuals, just using the United States alone, which is supposed to be a developed country with one of the top healthcare systems in the world. And honestly, that means absolutely nothing if you're not taking care of yourself. Me personally, to exist anywhere on this planet and that country has one of the more developed or top healthcare systems in the world, that means that country's full of individuals who do not take care of themselves. They're not conscious of daily habits or their health. That's what that tells me. But now, speaking of the United States, believe it or not, every 36 seconds, someone dies from cardiovascular disease. Insane. That's roughly around 2/3 of a million people die every year from cardiovascular disease. And I know some of you are already saying, oh yeah, we know you spoke about drinking and smoking and how it can damage your heart. Yeah, I have. I won't go into detail about that in this episode, but yes, I have. But there are certain unhealthy behaviors in which we partake in on a daily basis. And we don't even realize the harm in which we're impugning on ourselves by partaking in these habits on a regular basis. And they seem harmful. But I'll say this as an acupuncturist. If you want to maintain a healthy heart, you definitely want to start with acupuncture and looking to eradicate certain habits that you endure on a regular basis. Okay? One of them is the reason why. And I'll put it to you this way. Please understand why I say so often that it's best to see a physician on an annual basis, do an annual checkup with a physician, but make regular wellness visits with an acupuncturist. That is super, super important. Because if you're seeing an acupuncturist on a regular basis, these simple habits we partake in and things that we go through, for one, our mental, spiritual, and physical would be able to deal with them a lot better. Mitigate the damage in which it bears upon us on a regular. And one is stress. Again, that's why we have Acupuncture is My Life TV, which streams on Roku TV. And it's on the internet at acupuncturesmylife.tv. But the key here, stress. If you're dealing with a great deal of stress, you need to see an acupuncturist right away. Because too much stress, emotional stress, tends to affect a person's nervous system. Now, you have the parasympathetic side and the sympathetic side. Parasympathetic is you're resting, you're relaxed, and your body's functioning at a normal pace based on how your constitution is structured. And then you have the sympathetic side where it's just fight or flight. You're just always on 10, like all the time. Okay? And that's dangerous. It's very dangerous. You don't want to keep these pathways involved in the sympathetic nervous system activated on a constant basis, because it creates internal inflammation and constant secretion of stress hormones like epinephrine. And this leads to changes in your overall physiology, which contribute to high blood pressure, as well as electrical rhythm disturbances in your heart, obesity, and these are all risk factors for heart disease. So you really, really want to look to see an acupuncturist. Because sometimes, you can't help being involved in some type of stress. We have jobs that we have to go to because we have bills to pay, we have children, family members to take care of, we also have to take care of ourselves, and so forth and so on. Can't avoid it. But you need to add something in your life that helps bring down the stress, allow the body to cope. And see, at Acupuncture is My Life clinic here in New York City, it even goes beyond just acupuncture, because our network has holistic specialists, psychotherapists, and so forth that we work with for patients who may need to see a therapist along with receiving treatment. So it all depends. But you want to start somewhere. So you want to start with acupuncture. We even have registered dietitians, because diet is another thing we have to think about when it comes to heart disease. And diet plays a big part in mental and emotional health. Watch Acupuncture is My Life TV streaming on Roku. Or just go on the internet, acupuncturesmylife.tv. But diet, we talk about this. We have an entire holistic panel that discusses acupuncture, psychotherapy, diet, iridology, so much. But diet is a huge factor, because a poor diet is a major contributor of heart disease. And a lot of you are aware of that. A lot of you are aware of that, but you don't care anyway. Because you're looking for that comfort food, that food that's going to make you feel happy because you're stressed or whatever. And it's not good. But I'll say it again, and if you ever come into the Acupuncture is My Life clinic, you're definitely going to hear it. You want to focus on diet. You have to undergo an Eastern nutrition consultation, which is what all acupuncturists can provide. You want to avoid fast foods and red meat and processed. No, I take that back. More so processed meat. It's colored red. That's what I really meant to say. Fried foods, refined carbs, soda. Because there are quality red meats. I do believe in animal protein. I won't get into discussions on B12 and stuff like that. Intrinsic factor. I'm not going to get into that in this episode. I'll do it in another one. But there are many of you who don't realize what you're putting in your mouth can be bad for your heart. And you're consuming it in such high quantities that it's like super dangerous. Especially like individuals are consuming high amounts of white bread, pizza, canned soups, canned vegetables, canned fruits, energy bars, ice cream, smoothies, energy drinks. No. You need to see an acupuncturist. Undergo an Eastern nutrition consultation session. Create a nice diet plan. It's really easy. Because, like I said, a lot of what we're experiencing, what we're going through every day, is not good for us. And there's so much going on in life. Guess what we don't have time for? And I get this a lot. I hear this so much. Guess what we don't have time for? Time to exercise. And if you're a regular listener of Acupuncture is My Life podcasts, you know I speak of exercising more often than not. It's super important. Because if you're sedentary most of the day, you're contributing to cardiovascular disease simply by not moving. A sedentary lifestyle plays a big part in a person developing atherosclerosis, which is basically a deposition of plaque in the inner lining of a person's arteries. An atherosclerotic process tends to contribute to the development of a heart attack. I mean, just adding 15 to 30 minutes of movement activities in exchange for that sedentary time can make a big difference. Just simply standing up instead of sitting down while working or reading or watching television can make a huge difference. It can give you those small steps towards preventing heart disease. And remember, exercise, and I've said this a million times, it can lower a person's blood pressure, their heart rate, weight, stress hormones being emitted. Okay? Keep that in mind. Because as a board certified licensed doctor of acupuncture, I totally understand that health is wealth. I know that the wealth is not in a safe or in the bank. It's not in an app on your phone or in a retirement account. The wealth is not in your pocket. It's not in your purse. Nor is it under the doghouse in the backyard. The wealth is not under the mattress or in the shoebox in the closet. It's in you. And I know you know this. This is why you listen to Acupuncture is My Life podcast. But you know what else many individuals do on a regular basis instead of seeing an acupuncturist that's contributing to heart issues? Taking too much in the way of supplements. People just popping these vitamins and mineral supplements in their mouth. First of all, a lot of individuals are on prescribed medication and they don't know the contraindications of taking certain vitamins and mineral supplements relative to what they're on. And this can result in destructive effects on the heart. And so many individuals are unaware of that. If your physician prescribed medication for you, ask him or her if taking certain supplements would negatively or create a negative outcome relative to what they've been prescribed, you've been prescribed. And I've said this many times, the vitamins and minerals you're looking for, try and get it from your food. And if you don't know, sit with an acupuncturist and they'll help you. Okay? Try and sit with an acupuncturist. And they'll help you. Now you know something else, and this is interesting. This next habit. I've seen individuals at the Acupuncture is My Life clinic, right? And even in virtual sessions, I would hold with individuals around the world. And they'd come back. There'll be certain things going on. And they'll say to me, well, I'm drinking water. And I even listen to your podcast, you tout water. And I would ask him, are you drinking tap water? Yeah. No. Understand, when it comes to your heart, what you're eating and drinking can play a big part in both the prevention and the cause of disease. And when we think of that, we think, all right, let's stay away from the sugary foods or the saturated fats. But many individuals don't pay attention to the type of water in which they're drinking. In this case, tap water. I know in the United States, like tap water, it's so much shit in it that you, pardon my French, but you shouldn't even be touching, like uranium and all types of stuff. And exposure to, let's say, elevated levels of uranium over an extended period of time, it can damage both your kidneys and your heart, which is yin and yang. Bam. Okay? Even low concentrations of uranium can serve as a risk factor for chronic diseases. So you want to be conscious of that. Just pay attention. What type of water are you drinking? Do you have some type of filtration system? Don't just go to the tap and say, hey, cold water. Yum, yum. No. You want to be conscious of what you're drinking. And I know many of you would say, well, but doc, you told me to drink it. But you have to be careful. I tell you, Herbal tea is good for you, but see an acupuncturist first. Some will just go say, hey, this is herbal tea, so I'll take it. Your body, you may not need to, drink a certain type of tea. Just because I said herbal tea, and this is considered herbal tea. Just be careful. Just, in a nutshell, you know what you do? You're really listening? You know what you do? Make acupuncture a part of your life, okay? That's where you start. Because acupuncture is my life. What's yours?